feet, this is a shakedown.
keep going till my speakers come below. I'll keep going till my speakers come below. I'll keep going till my speakers come below. I'll keep going till my till my speakers come. I'll keep going till my speakers come below. I'll keep going till my speakers come below. I'll keep going till my speakers come below. I'll keep going till my speakers come below.
It's time for the quarterfinals, and it's Immortals versus North.
The war starts to raise in the middle, Matthew. It's going to be an excellent game, and we talked about the clash of styles.
Neon lights glisten off the streets. The moonlight swallowed up by breathing electricity. Salvation hovers in the sky. Dream of a life inside while we escape just to survive. Take flight, dreams begin to reignite. So clear, so bright, we're glowing in the dead of night. Online, data streaming in our minds. Circuits entwined, dream of me, no Tokyo tonight.
And Immortals make it further than last year. They went 3 maps with Na'Vi. They go 3, and they outlast North.
We're made of flesh, circuit, and bone. The only world we've known. These empty streets, we walk alone. Salvation blocking out the sun. Beneath its shadow
Na'Vi's tournament life resting on these next couple of seconds. The bullets fly, and there it is. Astralis make their way to the semi-finals, and with this win, have the pen in hand to write the next chapter of their history.
Five different nationalities. They went unfazed in their group and now in the semi-final. And Immortals. Can they continue to surprise is the question.
They've got a pretty decent defense set up for this.
Yeah, Alu's got to be the one to pinpoint this one down. No, FNX is going to do it. And so far, Immortals dominate B, and it is theirs. Bomb's going to go down any second now. Keo, you have not got a hope in hell. Nico is there instantly in support. Henny, 1v2.
This would be a huge round for Immortals to win. The Molotov spreads.
And Kerrigan, you got to be frustrated.
Spots it, there's one kill.
FaZe are unrelenting, and as is Nico.
Gonna try and catch him off guard with this off angle, and he does. 4 for him. Beautiful round. All of a sudden, this is a 1-on-2. There's 1 minute left, and he's got the bomb as well.
Where will he be? Keo! He has nothing, he only picked up the rifle, and
Kerrigan shuts down Lucas. These Deagles have done so much work. Nico's a one-man army. No one looking his way. The bomb's going down. There's one. There's two. He's got it. The spin around from Henny.
FNX will get out. He does get Kerrigan down, but it should be kept in check. And here we go. Keo putting on a show again.
4 kills. He's playing supremely confident.
He can do this now for his side to secure his team into the finals. Chasing down Lucas, and he does it! FaZe make it to the finals here at IEM Katowice. A huge performance from them, looking exceptional.
We get ready to roll in what is our second semi-final.
Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Heroic versus Astralis. He'll be going toward that lower ramp trying to find his first pick, and Veto will be waiting for him.
What a shot, immediate response from Device. Jump down right away to find the angle towards the connector, and Nico stays alive above. Nico rains down from above. Device wants it, jumps across, nice, no scope, looks for the other. Device! How sick is that? Yuki's still up and now down, and Zipix again finds all 3.
Zipix trying to get the first frag, and he opens things up in style as well. Takes down Modi.
Now knows he's behind him, he's gonna swing around. Snappy's been tagged as well. All in the hands of Zipix. Door shut, they know he's close. No scope, nails 1. Yuki does respond, no chance for 2.
Somehow Heroic are keeping themselves alive here in the semi-final.
As they push through radio, it's Kirby, they're ready and waiting for 1 kill of the 2 they have. Device has the other. Nico, though, does try to push back through. That should be the game, that should be the series. Debris closes it, Mulder goes down.
The aggressive reaction from the CTs there, not meant to be.
And Astralis will book a date with their former in-game leader, Kerrigan. FaZe waits, and I'm sure they'll be licking their lips.
One of the biggest esports events in the world has toured the planet.
These are those moments I don't think anybody on that stage is going to forget.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, the Intel Extreme Masters Grand Final.
It's going to be Kiabi that pushes up inside of middle. Smoke to go down inside of Z, gives him the wraparound. He's going to go aggressive, so it keeps Rain's attention this direction. They set for a crossfire, but Alu going down and pulls Bayrain back. Alu manages 2 as he gets through the smoke, but he's found by Zipix, who gets 2 in return himself, and it leaves it to just Kerrigan in a 1 versus 3.
He still fancies this. He's managed to pick up a kid as well. This is possible for him. 2 players to find.
He's got to be very fast at this point. Spots the first. He's going to hold this, absolutely. He's going to hold 2 seconds. Oh, he gets off it! And he knows his ult to a 3 versus 3, but Keo's getting closer. Molotov's going to make sure they can't push through the smoke, and Glaive wants to take the fight. 1 versus 3, bomb still down, jumps through! Oh, Glaive! So close, but FaZe go up 1-0 to start off the best of 5 finals on their map. Now the attack is on to B, and Xyp9x will fall back inside a pit instead, but Flash comes through and Keo is able to get one before blinded off, spots another, device goes down, bombs dropped on the ramp, he'll swing wide, and it's Xyp9x to drop.
Kiyoshima with no kit, he has to go for it. He starts to walk towards the bomb site, the device is not aware.
Good shot. Keo slips in, and he gets both! Silence is everything, and every single clutch is going the way of FaZe. dupreeh could swing back in that direction. Flash thought works though. Limited vision, limited weapons. Doesn't even matter. dupreeh! Oh, the 4th as well. He's looking for the ace. The first ace from anyone on Astralis, and now they're getting pumped. Has to change all of this. Is leaving dupreeh entirely 1 versus 3.
What a shot that is.
That is so amazing, dupreeh! He sells that he's gone to decon, goes back in. He's got 2 and he knows exactly where Nico is, and he nails it! Holy hell, dupreeh! That clutch is so unlikely, yet he pulls it off.
So sick. Such an intense moment here. If Astralis pick this map up, they've done it. They take the series 3-1. Oh my god, Kiyoshima gets his head blown off. It's Glaive to open up the bomb site here. And he gets the double as well, making a triple. That's going to be round done and dusted. FaZe backs to the wall.
What a shot, Alu. He continues to get aggressive inside of middle, makes it pay off very fast. He's coming alive.
Smoke will be deployed as well. That's going to be a thorn in that side. And another great shot from Alu. Hits the 4th as well, looking for the ace. Alu delivers in round number 15.
The skill that these guys have, and there you go. Kerrigan pulls back, he might be the difference maker. He's looking for his 3rd, and he's got that as well. Very impressive.
Device to strike first, doesn't pull the trigger yet, but there it is, takes out Kiyoshima.
So good from Device. Everyone in the world would have been tempted to take that shot.
1 round will do it for Astralis.
Backs off, that brings Glaive in. Perfect bait, switching finds 2. They've held him off, but dupreeh gets Kiyoshima down. Nico's got to go on his own, he's got Xyp9x. It's going to get planted. Glaive and dupreeh pushing up for Banana. All on the newest acquisition, and it's all done! Astralis win it! IEM champions, it's Astralis!
ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL, Kidia, and 1xBet.
Hello everyone, welcome back to ESL Challenger League Season 50. We're now in the South American League Cup number 1, and it is our grand final. Winner here gets to go all the way to the Regional League. They will book their spot. I'm Nari Mizuki, been one of your casters today, and I'm joined by the wonderful Grimmy Rana. Freddie, how are you doing today?
I am excited. I'm ecstatic. You can't not be excited when it's a grand finals in South America with two teams that are eagerly looking to prove themselves. And it's not also just a grand final that it's like, okay, we finish, we pack it up. It's a grand final that could potentially lead to a pro league. So I'm really, really excited. How are you doing, Sam?
I'm really looking forward to this as well. You know, as we got our bracket up ahead of us here, you can see across the board, it's been a lot of sweeps. But bearing in mind, some of those were forfeit wins because obviously a lot of teams had to kind of prioritize other tournaments. Makes 100% sense. But it does mean that it's given a lot of our other teams some solid opportunities to kind of make their way through to the end. And you were kind of saying before we went live that this is kind of the grand final that you were expecting, but it is a rematch of one of our semi-finals from earlier this week, so it looks like this could be a pretty exciting matchup.
Yeah, it's unfortunate about all the forfeit wins. It's actually there's just been so many different tournaments going on. It's bound to happen. But you mentioned that upper bracket semi-final. This matchup was one of the closer games in this whole tournament. 9Z came out on top. BESTIA, they put up a very good fight, and BESTIA dropped down into lower brackets, probably had a harder run versus teams than 9Z had through the upper bracket. And the main reason for that is them having to then go play Fluxo, the kind of new look Fluxo. Like, that's a really tough opponent. So the fact that I see BESTIA, who have gone down into the lower bracket, they beat Fluxo, they dominated Red Canids, that puts me in a lot of confidence. They've come back into this matchup, proving their performance in the previous matches, and also like very eager for revenge.
And of course, we always talk about what's going to make the biggest difference here, and we've got two proponents, one from either team, as they come head to head. Now, Lucan was someone that we wanted to talk about a couple of days ago, and then we pivoted and we wanted to talk about Levy instead, and it was a great idea. But you cannot deny that Lucan is the top performing player for 9Z, and is going to be going head to head against Tamashin, who on paper doesn't seem to stack up quite as well.
Oh, like it's rare to see when two teams just outright have these star individuals on both sides of the server, right? Like, that is objectively such an exciting thing to witness. And Thomasin, okay, right now, you'd be fair enough being like 1.19, that's good and all, but Freddie, why are you calling him a star player compared to the 1.30 of Lucan? And okay, you know what? His last 3 months maybe haven't been as fruitful, and the fact that I'm saying a 1.20 give or take is not as fruitful is, like, I think what people expect of him. If you glance back to the end of last year, beginning of this year, he was putting up a 1.40 rating at RMRs, for instance. Like, he has proven himself up against the best in the whole world, and he has single-handedly taken BESTIA to their highest peak so far. And what's been actually quite reassuring is that the narrative once upon a time was that it is just a Thomasin show. However, specifically in this tournament, you have a lot of different other players stepping up, and that leads very nicely into our Kidia player to watch.
And our Qiddiya player to watch is Luchov. And this was it was quite tough because obviously we had a little head-to-head and it's like, oh, but luckily you've got a team here with a lot of like really good potential players that have like the possibility to really kind of frag out and have these amazing moments. So of course Luchov was going to be our second choice there, and his stats aren't quite as high as Martian, as you were saying, right? That's somebody who's going to be kind of that star player, but as we know, it doesn't always come down to the frags, right? Like that's an important part of it, but it's not the be-all end-all, and this to me feels like a player who's got a little bit more in his bag than just hitting those shots.
To be honest, the reason why I picked him was because I've been actually superbly impressed of how well he's been doing this tournament. Like BESTIA against Sharks, 9Z, Fluxo, and Red Canids, he's put up like a really good performance. Those are kind of the lists of some of the best teams in the region. And yeah, as you mentioned, I wouldn't normally kind of pick Luchov out of the bunch in this squad to be like, this is our player to watch. But how we were kind of narrating, I think, in the proverbial green room was that this head-to-head that we were saying previous, the head-to-head between Lucan and Thomasin, we expect both of those star players to step up, and that is like just an expectation. But the difference makers and the players that I really want to see, that I believe will make the difference in a matchup and a grand final, a high stakes game, is going to be someone like Luchov, who has played superbly up until this stage. If he continues that, that will be a prime example of a difference maker.
Now, of course, the next proponent, we talk about star players and how well they do, but before they can battle, they're going to need an arena. So, of course, we do have our Veto available as well. And funnily enough, it looks like we're going to the exact same places that we've been before in our semi-final game. The Veto came through and it looked exactly the same. It will be those same 3 maps that we saw previously, Nuke, Ancient, and Dust 2. And that always worries me when you see the exact same Veto coming through, purely because you kind of have an idea of how that went previously, and there's that kind of coin flip of we know what to expect, so we know what to work on, but obviously the enemy team has similar insights, but obviously you kind of want to stick to where your strengths lie. And given that the last time they went head to head, some of the maps were fairly close. We had a 13-10 and a 13-8. Dust ended on a 13-6, but you know, across the board, it felt like it was relatively evenly matched. I don't know. How are you feeling about this, Freddie?
When you have a game played, 3-4 days ago, and it's the exact same Veto, it's exactly what you said. Like, the mind games go crazy. It's just such like, this is a map that this is a series, lives and dies with Nuke. Ancient, BESTIA, in the last 2 times that these iterations of rosters have played up against each other, BESTIA have actually looked really camp on that. I look at this series and I'm looking at Nuke and I'm looking at the CT side of 9Z, that they need to make sure they don't drop the ball in the second half of this first map, because when they played Nuke the last time, it was a 13-10 victory, and they almost lost it on their defense. That is kind of a crazy statement. Like, sure, BESTIA won pistol, and it's Luchov, the kind of guy we was talking about in our player to watch. He had a 2.05 HLTV rating on that map. So, you know, he's a pretty good gamer on Nuke. There is a world that I was hyping this series up, and I'm really excited for like a lengthy 3-mapper. If 9Z don't come out to play on Nuke, this is going to be a 2-0 in favor of BESTIA, and they are going to be your inaugural winners of ECL Cup. That's kind of where I put my eggs, I'd say, in the basket, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask, right? So a little bit earlier on, you were talking about how part of the storyline is like old 9Z are, you know, they were obviously looking a little bit better, but obviously you come in with newer players and there's that kind of growing period, or getting through those growing pains rather, before you can kind of become that cohesive unit that you realistically want to be. So we come into this, we know that it's going to be a rematch, we know that the last time they played against each other it was fairly close, and 9Z still have kind of potentially some of those growing pains to battle through. So my question to you is, Do you think that they've done enough to make this a more one-sided affair? Do you think they've had enough time to kind of work through that and really be able to take this grand final in a more handed fashion? Or do you think that BESTIA are, with a little bit of insights that they have, going to be able to keep this as close as it was before?
Very good question. So there's a lot to unpack there. The first is that these guys have played in a grand final already. Like kind of the inaugural tournament for this 9Z roster, CCT South America Series 2, BESTIA obliterated them in the grand finals. So that showed that BESTIA play at one level, and 9Z, their roster, weren't there just yet. They've now exceeded that level, but will BESTIA be caught off guard a second time? Because obviously when you batter a team and you get you let them have 10 rounds in a series, you may not expect a change in Veto and also then to lose a series 2-1. But for this 9Z roster, I want to go back to those kind of grand finals I was mentioning that they lost in. This roster's played really well so far. They've got very deep in tournaments, but haven't closed out anything just yet. You've got Abano and Levy, these youngsters. You've got 9Z, an organization that, despite having an IEM Dallas semi-final run last year, almost like this time last year actually, last year, and you had these superstars, and you've won the odd qualification here to the Thunder Pick World Championship, and almost won a LAN there. If you build a roster that has a core of players that are struggling, 2 youngsters, and then you make 3 grand finals basically in succession and lose every single one of them, that does something to a roster, especially those young players. So for 9Z, they're looking for a victory. They're really looking for a win. And I think a win here will benefit them so much more than any other team. And they'll be so hungry for that.
Yeah, and it's kind of like the conversation we were having a couple of days ago as well, where it's like, yes, obviously all of the forfeit wins are pretty unfortunate, but it gives a lot of opportunity to some of the other teams who might not have had as much of a chance in this sort of a tournament when all of those top teams are competing. They're likely to get knocked out a little bit earlier on. They don't have as many opportunities to kind of make a deep run, whereas in this particular season in this cup, they've had a little bit more of that. So for either one of these teams, and it's kind of the same conversation that we were having about the Red Canids, who unfortunately fell to BESTIA yesterday at a 2-0 fashion, in fact, which was maybe a little bit surprising.
I don't know. I think that was somewhat expected.
Okay, fair enough. I thought it might be a little bit more of a close affair, given that they did take 9Z onto overtime on train. But, it is what it is. But for both of these two teams, right, it's still that same kind of storyline, because you got teams the likes of Imperial that are not in this cup at the moment. So that's such a good opportunity for either one of these teams to snag that spot, make sure that they can confirm themselves in that regional final. Because we talk about how so this, obviously, for those who are maybe a little bit more unfamiliar, there are 4 cups. The winner of each cup goes to the regional final. You play the regional final, and the winner goes to Pro League, right? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. However, if one team is able to win all 4 cups, they just scrap the regional final, and that team just goes to Pro League. But the fact that we've had some of our bigger teams not competing in this cup, it does mean that that's really unlikely. So it's that little bit more important that these teams can snag that win here, because when those teams come back, it might be that little bit more difficult.
Yeah, I think I appreciate the fact that ESL have the foresight to put in planning if a team wins all 4 cups. That's not going to happen. There is the only time I've ever seen a team consistently do well in tier 2 to that extreme is Fluxo in 2022-23 when they won 8 CCTs in a row, and I've never really seen anything else. I think Navi Junior won, or Spirit Academy won 2 CCTs at the end of last year in a row, and that was whoa, that's crazy to win 2 in a, or 3 in a row. But realistically, I don't think if a team does that, I will idolize them. But I think it's the point you made at the beginning there of Imperial, they're not here. Some of those bigger teams aren't here because of other events. This is like the perfect time that 9Z have got wins over good teams, legitimize the victory, and just that first place in the booking their squads to regional finals will do wonders for this type of squad, especially with the younger players of Urbano and Levy.
I mean, I come from South Africa where one team wins every single tournament ever. So, you know, it seems like less of a crazy occurrence, but obviously that is a slightly lower tier. So,
yeah,
perhaps
they are playing against plumbers, so it's fair enough.
Plumbers?
It's the joke of it's
Australia, I'm assuming.
No, it's just when when people say it's like not legitimate, it's like, oh, they're playing plumbers and people who don't play the game.
Oh, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I thought that was a dig at like.
No.
Is it Sponge?
Oh no, it's not a dig at anyone. It's just like a sign that people say.
Okay, fair enough. Because I think he was a plumber, or maybe he just jokes about because of that meme. I'm not entirely sure. Apologies for the delay, guys. We should be getting into the game very, very shortly. I know you all want to jump into that as soon as possible. So do we, believe me. But we are just sorting out some slight issues here. Funnily enough, so we talk about, you know, the fact that 9Z have gone through like these roster changes and so on, and I'm just looking at their performance at Thunderpick, and they had a 13-1 victory on Dust 2, which was like early July. That's kind of nuts against BESTIA. Okay, I mean, they did go on to lose the series. The next two maps were like both 13-11, so pretty close, but that 13-1 is kind of nuts, and there's a part of me that's wondering if we can maybe see that same kind of, you know, dig deep. We had some upsets in Blast over the last couple of days, so why not a crazy performance from BESTIA today? That could be entertaining.
I think it's, I mean, if whoever wins today, I don't think it's an upset. I'd say, if anything, BESTIA are probably the favorites.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it would make sense logically for BESTIA to be the favorites, but I'm putting my proverbial chips on 9Z. Levy was magical on the AWP the other day against Red Canids, and I'm looking for a little bit same. And speaking of Levy, he's cracking open the A-bomb site. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We are live, and Huaso Peak doing as his name suggests, just peeking in, Ferrari style. Maybe a little bit over-aggressive. Everyone's running out of bullets. Oh, what's going on? Okay, Timo, that's apparently how you win a 1 versus 2.
That was terrifying. We're like watching Huaso Peak try to like duck and dive a little bit, staring at the floor, jumping up and down, trying to get that reload off. He doesn't know his opponent's still busy reloading. But yes, comes down to that 1v1, and when you have that high ground advantage, it does certainly go in your favor. Well done to BESTIA for keeping their cool despite losing 3 players very quickly to Huaso Peak's insanity. But that's a huge kickoff for them because, of course, Bomb Plant entirely denied. And we can kick off into the second round fairly quickly. Okay, not too quickly. A little bit of smokes towards the outside here. And then we slow things down just that little bit. The HE doesn't manage to spot out anything. And after a moment of respite, we'll have 9Z slipping their way down secret. Now, there's no one holding here, and that may change into following rounds. Obviously, BESTIA still have a big advantage in this, just in terms of weaponry. The force up onto the rifle from Lucan is a choice. I don't hate it. I think, you know what, he was one of our highlighted players earlier today, so if somebody's going to make the magic happen here, it's certainly going to be him. And 9Z very much hit the brakes a little bit as they made their way down secret. Gave a lot of time here for BESTIA to rotate back down to lower, and unfortunately with that, the opening kill from Casson. As I mentioned at Lucan, that rifle does pop off and Urbano follows it up. So now, while there isn't the gun advantage, there is that numbers advantage, and they've got some pretty strong guns, but it's going to take a little bit more. 1 versus 1, in fact. Good grief, everyone falling like flies across the map, but it's a Tech 9 versus an M4. And let's face it, in that battle, you are severely on the back foot. 4 HP and a dream. Bomb is lost on sight. You've got to believe that that is absolutely clocked. A quick reposition here. So if they do go for that bomb even if they try to go for that plant, even if they can make their way onto the site, it should be easy pickings. The second round for BESTIA, but it was expensive.
They're not doing these rounds cleanly, are they? That pistol round, I'm still just kind of reeling from the fact that BESTIA won it, especially after Hwasopeak gets a triple entry and they still lose the round. And then even there as well, like they get the double opener, they trade out on a Glock. Like the only player that dies is Hwasopeak, who was an unarmored Glock who'd given over the AK to Lukem. BESTIA play very aggressively, they play ahead of utility, they don't allow 9Z to get settled into the post plants. And even though the immediate response was that they ended up losing a player or two, by large, because they took the fight to 9Z, it's, as I mentioned, 9Z couldn't get settled, they couldn't get ready, and the rifles ran rampant. But because 4 players died and only 1 player stayed alive, despite there being no bomb plant, 9Z are going to be taking a tactical pause. They're going to buy up an AK. This time it's Hwasopeak getting it. He's not dropping it, he's receiving it. And there's actually a better investment this round.
Yeah, weirdly. I mean, clearing out those 4 players certainly helps, obviously.
Well, the reason for that would be that it keeps the economy low of BESTIA. I think if they'd only got 2 kills, they'd be like, actually, we're just going to eco. But they know if they win this, BESTIA are broke.
And we have 3 Tech 9s and a Mac 10. So, I mean, this is the perfect map to be getting results from a buy like that. And of course, a little bit of posturing towards a lobby, which makes a ton of sense. While the Mac 10 in the rifle tries to sneak its way through outside. They've managed to kind of garner quite a bit of space here. Spot out the first. Quick little upgrade. Tamarjan, however, gets a trade-off, but trades do seem to be the name of the game here. 3 for 3, 2 for 2, and the final 2 fall like dominoes. Those MP9s farming cash. Look good for 9Z for a moment, but it slips away at the end.
Yeah, this is the issue of going in for a double force buy. Very high risk, high reward. And they've come out on the back end of things because now they're going to have to go for another low purchase, much worse than prior. And BESTIA have got a pretty nice 4-0 lead. And the reason why is actually, I don't know if concerning is the word, but I'm just taking a look at that last game between 9Z and BESTIA, and it was an 8-4 T half where 9Z got 8 T rounds in a row and then struggled on their CT side. I like that's such a unique occurrence that I do wonder if that's going to happen again. Because I don't know. That just, are we going to be worried of a 9Z CT side? Surely not.
Oof. Seems to be the case, yeah? Unfortunately, with that high risk, high reward buy in that previous round, obviously, with all of the risk and none of the reward, it was another weird eco. Yeah, it was upgraded pistols. Let's face it, it's an eco. Not ideal by any measure. So it's taken them 4 rounds to get a gun round out, which is rough, but that certainly can happen, especially when you're trying something a little bit more risky. I don't know that you want to be being that risky on your T side, however. We'll see how things shape up now. I think a lot of, kind of leaning into what you were saying, a lot of that comes off the fact that they lost the pistol. If they get the pistol, maybe they get that 8 rounds again like they'd done previously. But we'll hop into this next round, and Cassen's got the AWP available, ready to lock things down. Ooh, AWP positioned towards Secret. Okay, we'll see if that garners anything. It's an interesting spot. It's not super common, but now he's up close and personal. Lovely shot from him. Slips away. And of course, Timo to get the follow-up here with only a few players left. All 3 making their way over towards ramp, but they've lost any attempt at a lurk play here. So they're going to have to try and brute force their way onto the site. Cassen's repositioned. He's good for a second. Can we make it a third here? Oh, just missing, just shaving the head a little bit, but finally does connect it. Can't get that last one, but Tamarjan is there. Tag teams in, and it's another clean round. That is 5 consecutive rounds of no bomb plant.
That's just a really lovely round from BESTIA and sublime reactions from the AWPer of Kaysen, both hitting the flicks, but also how he repositions himself, and also from Luchov and Timo. So Luchov, who was the ramp player, starts that round outside of ramp and is supporting his AWPer coming out from Seeker. He's throwing molos towards the entrance. He's throwing flashbangs over. So it's a bit of actually a high-risk play to completely isolate yourself away from that part of the map. If 9Z had gone for more of an aggressive kind of silent lurk. But as soon as Kaysen gets that kill, he then just tries to block ramp. He doesn't fight for ramp because he knows he doesn't want to give up his life. His team has got the advantage, and he just blocks and he bides time, allowing for Kaysen then to get the kill on Secret and then rotate down towards the B bomb site. Alongside that, Timo gets the second lurk outside, and then everyone just crunches onto that B bomb site. It's a really lovely set round for BESTIA and just a phenomenal read. And Kaysen's outside again. Almost thought he was going to catch Levy around the smoke. Oh
my!
Anyways,
There, he did. Outstanding, and looking to try and follow that up as well, but it should give 9Z pause.
Sorry, pause. What are we doing? There's a garage smoke, there's a top main smoke, and a second smoke. Where's the third smoke? And it doesn't matter because they have no util left. 9Z, this is actually shambles.
Yep. Well, I said, right, 5 consecutive rounds of no bomb plant has left their economy in the absolute dregs.
It's not unfortunately, the economy is not the issue. It's just the fact that they've just missed outside smokes.
All compounds, right? Like, everything just kind of adds onto each other to just make things that much worse. And okay, in a round like this, maybe you're not expecting to get too much done, but they've had a buy like this previously where they got a lot of damage done, and realistically that can be helpful, but unfortunately it's looking like it's going to be a 6th round where they're completely shut out, only good for that one kill. I mean, this is not what I was expecting given their performance 2 days ago, and the way that Levy just went absolutely nuclear. Levy's 1-6 right now. Timo, on the other hand, 11-1. I mean, he's been an absolute rock star, and Levy's just been shut out super consistently.
I mean, I don't even really want to blame Levy. It's kind of like a whole systemic issue.
100%.
Nothing to do with individuals right now. It just feels like 9Z are not playing their game, and they're getting absolutely owned, and especially because Kaysen's just getting an abnormal amount of map control wherever he goes completely for free. He's got all the information in the world outside, and Mouth will be a motor coming over to his teammates. It's going to be the play on the upper bomb site. Timo, playing retake ramp, may I add, has just jiggled, and Huaso has been peaked. This was a read where BESTIA had 3 players over towards A. They'd left ramp. And yet, they still settle themselves in a 5 versus 4 advantage, with 9Z have 2 molos, a smoke, a flash, no map control.
This is a really cool read for me as well, because BESTIA, they could have been like, all right, we got 1, but they could still push this. But instead, they kind of read into it's unlikely they're going to keep trying to push for ramp. So they've already moved to reinforce back towards A, but Max finally going to get a nice little trade-off there. That could give them the space that they need to get in onto this A site, but they're moving so slowly. Timo is just that much better. Finally gets handed his second death. And now, maybe 9Z are in with a chance. 2 versus 2 here, mollied off of Heaven. So they've got a chance to try to plant this bomb. We moved away from the AWPer. The bomb is at least planted, but they're so split from one another. 2 1v1s go the way of BESTIA. And despite that bomb planted, it doesn't matter. A 7th round for BESTIA.
9Z freezing there really sent BESTIA into a spiral. And it was exactly what you said. When Max gets that opening kill, if 9Z had moved quicker, they would have been able to overrun the A bomb site, but they wouldn't have had that information that BESTIA weren't prepared for the aggression. And that was giving me flashbacks from the other day when Max was getting openers through door onto Venom's arrow from Red Canids, and they exploded on the A bomb site from that. The exact same thing happened, but this time BESTIA are 7-0, and Thomasin's got an opening kill of a Molotov. Kaysen has gone for his 4th different aggressive pick in the last 4 rounds, and he's got yet another kill from it, but yet somehow we settle ourselves in a 3 versus 3 because Thomasin's decided to push hard.
Crazy way for that to even itself out. Maybe a little bit of overconfidence here, but I think if you're BESTIA, you can afford to be a little bit confident with the way that the CT side has gone. You can kind of hurt their CT a little bit. Oh my god.
Oh,
ships
like
in
ships.
the night. But they know he's there.
He's gonna get out.
No, come on.
Okay.
There we go. Hey, he's traded. He's traded. 2 versus 2 now.
Oh, sorry, Kaysen's in hut.
Slip the needle. Oh my god, the timing. One player makes his way down vent. Do they have the read? They certainly suspect it. So we're sending one player down towards that B bomb site, and now with the bomb being planted, it will be clear as day. Footsteps heard, so Foster Peak knows at least one area to be watching. Oh, what a shot! But can't follow it up on the second. Super unfortunate. BESTIA have been so good at constantly like playing distraction. When it comes down to these like 1v1, 2v2, 1vx scenarios, they like pull attention away so well that, and they can set up these incredible crossfires, and 9Z just like collapse.
Kaysen's everywhere. This guy is like omnipresent. He's getting opening kills outside. He's getting opening kills towards ramp. He's ending the rounds towards the A bomb site. He's clutching up. He's doing everything. Like Notsuke getting that kill in the 3 versus 3 is ultra important because 9Z were preparing to do something as a contingent towards A. That spiraled, but then it's Kaysen through and through. He's just having a blinder. And 9Z, I said that this series lived and died with Dust 2. With Nuke, and currently this series is dying with Nuke. 8-0 up. 9Z have used every single one of their tactical pauses. This is a extremely worrying sign for a squad with 2 new young players that had so much promised for, but they seemingly are failing at the finishing line more than once, twice, and now even maybe a thrice.
Only 4 rounds left to try and make some miracles happen. Fairly decent buy to come through here. Gotta try and keep this as clinical as possible. And BESTIA are certainly feeling themselves. We're seeing a lot more kind of, not necessarily aggressive, but slightly more advanced positions from them. Knowing that they have been able to win. Oh my god, he missed it. Prediction not quite where it needed to be. I was expecting that to be that opener to give them that player advantage. But unfortunately, doesn't quite hit the nail on the head there. Now, they've spotted one player towards outside, but Paranoia hasn't set in just yet. We haven't changed any sort of rotations, and I don't know, man. I think we seem to be all right. Couple of kills through here. We're just shutting things down. We just win our ones, bro. It's all good.
Okay.
That was a round of CS of all time.
9Z had that perfectly set up. There were 2 players down towards B. There was a deep player on ramp. There were 2 isolated BESTIA players on that A bomb site with no support whatsoever. That was a 5 versus 2 with utility placed on where BESTIA were, top hut. A flashbang in. And it's Thomasin and Notsuke who do the majority of the heavy lifting with that 3 piece as the A anchors. BESTIA over-rotated. They bit down on the fact that they've seen a player cross towards Secret and didn't have any more information. Teemo over-rotated. Kaysen was playing towards ramp. Luchov was already down towards B. That's a heroic performance. That almost just closes out the game right there.
Tamasha's reposition was also really nasty. Getting that first kill from an up elevated position, fair enough, but then repositioning down to that lower ground, getting that second, and Teemo now sitting on 15-3. It's unrealistic statistics right now. And unfortunately for 9Z, that was a really important round to keep this somewhat competitive. Best they can hope for now is 3, and of course in this round they have very little to work with. Now this is one of the few rounds where BESTIA have left Secret pretty much entirely unguarded, but they do have ramp position, and there you go. We'll have Timo slipping on down, realizing, all right, we haven't seen terribly much happening anywhere else on the map, so it could be a move down towards B. 9Z are playing relatively quiet, kind of contacting a little bit here, and that has caused, it's kind of given BESTIA a little bit of pause, and that's what's kind of caused them to fan out a bit more. But now they're all starting to make that move down. They're gathering that information and winning those ones once again. Max in a good position here. The Mac 10. See if we can get one more kill. Make it a bit more of an even affair. But somehow, I don't know how you're surviving right now, Kaysen. Somebody put the Benny Hill music on. But it's Lucan to get another. Max is not willing. There we go. Nice shot there. A little bit unrealistic, I think, for Kaysen to have missed that one. But these things do happen. Luchov with a kill of his own. And now Max has to somehow 1v2. 19 HP and a Mac 10 in hand. Bomb nowhere near him. He's picked up the AWP and surely he just backs off. Surely. Yes. Bye-bye.
Saving when you're 9-0 down is crazy.
You say that.
It doesn't... What are you saving for? A 10-2 half?
Do you know what? It's better than a 12-0 half, you know?
I've got a feeling that that's what we're going to be getting.
It does feel... You know, I was joking about the 13-1... It was 9Z that got that 13-1 previously, so...
Also on Dust 2, which they...
Yes.
Yeah, that map's fallen through their fingers. Maybe... Oh, this is a worrying sign. They beat Red Canids 13-5 only a couple of days ago to get themselves into the grand finals on this very map. Everyone was playing out of their socks. It was a fantastic performance, and yet now the writing's already in the sands. This is... Well, sorry... Yeah, this is done. 10-0, CT side. The highest fraggers on 9Z is Wasso Peak and Max on 7 kills. Levy, who was our MVP of the upper bracket finals, is currently sitting 3-10. He's had the AWP out. He's not really had much to do with it. And 9Z, they've had a lot of ideas, but none have worked. And here comes another. They're trying to wrap around Heaven, and they're just met with brute force. There's nowhere they can go.
Oh, Levy with AWP in hand. Maybe this is why they saved it. Maybe they realized they needed to have that little bit of extra firepower. Don't believe they've been able to buy into an AWP. I mean, they've had, what, 2 bomb plants this entire map? So it has been very difficult to build up any sort of long-term economy. He has managed to get one here and made it a slightly more contestable scenario, but oh my god, not expecting that player to the left. And now, unfortunately, Levy, the last one left with an AWP in hand. Bomb is on his back. Surely he spotted the foot there, or at the very least can hear the footsteps, wins out the battle, doesn't expect that Noxcare is right there, up close and personal. An 11th round for BESTIA, and yes, staring down that barrel for a 12-0 half.
Yikes. This is 9Z's map pick, by the way, if you're a bit confused. Join the club. A big issue 9Z have had is, like, everywhere they go, Kaysen's there with an AWP. Like, he has never played aircon, and yet just kind of chills by the air conditioning perfectly as they call an ace, like an outside split. And Luchov's like, that, who fights that? Who, as a CT side, who just decides they're going to duel top silo and then also get flashed in to peek back red over the cross smokes? You can see it. They are overflowing with confidence, and it's very well deserved. Oh, Kaysen's just walking outside. Okay.
Well, I mean, given
clear,
that what was it, round 3 or 4 that he did a secret play, right? Like you said, right? Just super dynamic. I mean, there's dynamic, and then there's Kaysen. Oh my God, brother.
He's perfect.
What is that? Another one? Surely. No, okay. He's forced off of the angle, unfortunately. Tamashin loses his life to a Molotov. Luchov, good for one, but instantly traded back. Now Max.
What?
How did a bomb? Okay. Max has got bomb though. He slipped down vent. No, it wasn't him down vent. Sorry, that was Kaysen. Does he know that Kaysen's there? Does he have an inkling that it's been the vent drop? The timing on this is going to have to be perfect because Kaysen can get very, very cheeky with it. Oh my God. No, he's going straight into Kaysen. But no, okay, he turns his back. This is suddenly winnable. This is suddenly doable. Bomb can get planted. Yes, okay, slight HP disadvantage, but does that really matter? One well-placed bullet should be all it takes to clutch out this round. The sound of the squeaky door gives over the reposition. A Molotov to come through to stop a reaggress. The window's breaking now. We know exactly where he is. Flashbang doesn't quite connect. Time of the essence here. Trying desperately to buy that a little bit more. The HE is hit, but the stick is going through. You have to swing, and he does, but Timo is ready. Timo ready and waiting. Shot connects. A 12-0 half for BESTIA.
Hey Future Pros! A site on Nuke has some pesky angles to deal with. Let's look at a couple of mollies you can throw to deal with them. First two steps are to shoot out the windows on the way out of spawn, and get a teammate to drop your molly onto this vent. Then hop up onto it and line yourself up with this connection point. Aim along the right side of this beam right up to the top of where it connects to the window. Then throw the molly. Immediately after, aim along this grey band above this line. Run forward and throw the molly before you fall off the vent. Just like that, the back of site and hut will be mollied off. This hut molly even spreads to the boxes below. I hope this helps.
NineZ beat BESTIA so hard in the upper bracket semi-final. They thought, let's give our opponents a head start. Let's give them a 12-0 lead. and then we'll start playing. Then we'll start turning on our monitors. Okay, boys, now's your opportunity. CD side pistol. Let's start playing some Counter-Strike, shall we? Yeah, of course, of course. This is 16-12. 16 rounds in a row. Oh. Ooh.
Terrorists win.
Apparently I was muted. That's crazy. My bad. Also, very quick end to that map. Kaysen doing Kaysen things. Kicks it off with that first. Follows it up with another 2, I believe. Ends with 20 kills on the map. And that's how the map ends. Not with a bang, but with a whimper, Freddy.
Big whimper. That is a phenomenal performance from BESTIA. Kaysen ending with 4 kills in that final round. Just really, once again, stamping his dominance onto the server. BESTIA in a grand finals of the ESL Challenger League Season 50 South America Cup 1. Whoever wins this series goes through to the South America Finals, which is the direct qualifier to ESL Pro League, one of the biggest events in the world in the calendar year, and BESTIA are only 1 map away. Ancient, their map pick is up next, and are they even going to let 9Z get a single round?
Well, we'll have to find out after a very quick break, folks. So go grab a drink, refill. We could be in for a very quick evening, or we could go the distance. We'll see you in a bit.
I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till my feet become blown. I'll keep going till my I'll keep going till my I'll keep going till my feet.
A very unfortunate and certainly unpredicted end to our first match of the series. A 13-0 in favor of BESTIA on 9Z's map pick of Nuke. Devastation here in ESL Challenger League Season 50, South America Cup #1. But it's not over just yet, Freddie. There is still one more chance for... No. There's still hope. There's a light at the end of the tunnel for 9Z.
By the way, I don't think I've ever seen a rating this high. Kaysen, who got a 4K in the in the second half pistol round, ended the T side with a 6.4 HLTV rating. It's just 4-0, right? Like, it's just
talk about a limited sample size.
So guys, Kaysen ended Nuke with a 6.4 T side HLTV rating. Don't read into that whatsoever. To
be fair, though, he ended on a 3.1 for the map, so...
Yes, he still had a 3.06 T side rating with a ridiculous amount of multi-kills, a ridiculous amount of opening kills that were just untradeable. He was on fire with the AWP. 5 opening kills is ridiculous, and he was one of the main reasons. Sorry, by the way, don't get me wrong, he was by no means the reason. It was a real team effort, and that's what was so impressive for BESTIA. They had amazing rotations, amazing ideas from Notsuke as well. But Kaysen, but my hat cannot be tipped any further to that AWPer. And on the duality, Levy had 7 kills.
Which makes a stark difference to what we saw from him a couple of days ago, right? The way that we're singing the praises of Kaysen is literally how we were talking about Levi during their upper bracket final match. And of course, how the turns table, I suppose. And of course, that does leave us with a lot of question marks. Maybe not big question marks. We do have some inkling of how this is probably going to go. But with that being 9Z's map pick, it's you know, we now move on to BESTIA's pick. And yes, they've played this before against each other, a couple of times, in fact. Both times went the way of BESTIA. The first time was a 13-6 at the beginning of August, and the second time was a 13-8, which was like 3 or 4 days ago in their semi-final. So, improvement, sure, but... Oh, Freddie, don't be such a naysayer.
I came into this series saying that this should be a 3-mapper unless something happens on Nuke. And something has happened on Nuke, not for 9Z. They didn't play the map. 13-0, we go on to a map pick. It's a map that both teams are good on, but BESTIA just seem so good against 9Z. It's like their kryptonite, and they're also going to have so much confidence. You can see that Luca and Urbano, they're running down ramp. Who cares? BESTIA are just going to duel them. This is a messy pistol round, truth be told, but the bomb is going to be going down in the bomb's being tapped in a 3 versus 2, and instead of playing on the B bomb side,
oh my God,
imagine we're going to plant on the A bomb side, and Max is running around chasing his own tail.
That's very funny, because Max is obviously trying to bring up the lurk, but unfortunately, the chaos on site happened way too quickly for him to actually be able to rotate in time, so that gives time for BESTIA to pivot. 2 versus 1 now. The first altercation should be going down right about now. Max down to 5 HP, but of course, position now very well telegraphed and known. The flash to delay ever so slightly, and I was about to start talking about even if he does manage, he doesn't have a kit, but he didn't. Luchov finishes it off. 2 players left alive, winning out the round. It's a great start for BESTIA. And 9Z, the cracks, they're no longer forming. The cracks now are deeply embedded.
Hey, it's just a pistol round, right?
That's what we said on Nuke.
Yeah, the fact that we have got through a round in the second map and 9Z have yet to get a round on the board in this series is just such a crazy... Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Oh.
And it's, you know, 9Z, this is a really good opener, but this all matters if Levy hits this shot. Because BESTIA, it's a 3 versus 1 on this bomb site. They're not clearing him. Okay, Levy, this is perfect.
Oh my god.
Okay, misses the headshot, but he still drops the bomb planter. Thomasin, our main player to watch from BESTIA, there's not much he can do when he gets flashed in. And guys, Sam, 9Z have won a round.
And funnily enough, this was a round where they had a slightly lesser buy, so to speak. So
much lesser.
Well done.
It was MP9s. It was 5.7s. It was a gimmicky play, and it all just worked perfectly to set Levy up.
Yeah, I mean they certainly were leaning into the more kind of close contact scenarios, but the fact that Levy doesn't get cleared there is quite the misplay from BESTIA. There's a part of me that's like, how did you miss the headshot? And then I realized, okay, it's the planting position. You're like hunkered down, your head's like hidden. It's wibbly wobbly, whatever. They won the round. Miracles do happen, and BESTIA down onto Tech 9s and a Mac 10 posturing over to
cannon.
We're yet to see if he is more cannon than he is glass.
Did he get a single AWP kill on that one?
Yes, he did. He got 1.
Yeah, he got 1.
Yes, with the saved AWP, and then he died shortly thereafter.
Oh no. It's looking better though. Lucan, Arcadia player to watch, blinded Mo's 2 down, and Thompson's the final player alive. It's a 1 versus 4. This would be an ace clutch, may I add. And he's got 46 HP. Okay.
Not anymore.
Lasso Peak shuts him down. That's 9Z have doubled their rounds in the series.
I will just point out, Arcadia player to watch was Luchov, Freddy. Please.
Oh, I got mixed up because Lucan was
in the head-to-head.
Head-to-head.
Correct. Well, now see,
it's the storylines. I'm mixing them up.
So I know why BESTIA is not doing well. Kaysen hasn't got a kill yet. You see.
Maybe he was the hard carry.
We'll find out. We'll find out. Levy's only managed to pick up 1 so far. Nice little bit of early mid aggression here. Nice. Shut down that boost. And of course, where there's a boost, there's a second player. So we can spray that down into a nice little double. And that should be it for the round. We do see BESTIA having, you know, recovered, or they had kind of bought into a hero rifle. They have recovered that from amidst the smokes, but I don't think it's going to be enough to like secure them around. We've got a fake smoke heading all the way over towards A there, trying to fake that out, but nope, not going to be good for much of anything. It's a free AK for Abano and a free round for 9Z. See, I told you there's a shining light somewhere on Ancient.
This is 9Z's first win with 5 players alive.
Banger. It's also their 3rd win full stop. I mean...
First, yeah. The 3rd win full stop, first with all 5 players alive.
Yeah. It's the little things.
It's the small... I mean, it's great for the economy. So, as BESTIA's hit their first tactical pause very early on, but it's good to calm the nerves and talk through the game plans early or not. 9Z, since having these roster changes, have played Ancient 8 times. They've lost 4 of the 8, and 2 of them against BESTIA. And by large, when they've lost against the better opponents in South America. And that was the narrative of 9Z in the upper bracket final, was that they're doing very well against the, I guess, tier 2 of South America, but they're not being the tier 1.5. And BESTIA was one of those opponents they had finally got past, but never on Ancient. And this is why you really got to be scared for them in this matchup after a 13-0. But they're playing, that's round over. It's a minute and 30 seconds. It's a minute and 30 seconds, and BESTIA have already lost the round after a tactical pause.
But I mean, this was ridiculously messy. Like, you've got fights happening in 2 different areas on the map. All of it fairly dry. There wasn't much util to kind of like help push them through. You've got players that are caught out in no man's land, staring off into wild directions, just trying to find, I don't know.
I understand the setup for BESTIA because they try to send 2 players A early to take the early contact with the AWP, right? They want to get an opening kill over there. The issue with this round isn't inherently BESTIA, it's actually the phenomenal read from 9Z and their reaction as well to the acknowledgement of that aggressive A play to then react towards lane. Like, this round works perfectly because Levy and Wasso peek just make this fantastic call and then Max reacts accordingly.
Yeah, I suppose you're not expecting Wasso to have taken such an advanced position there to have wound up behind you. So that does leave them in a bit of a difficult one to try to come back from. Okay, 9Z up to 4 rounds now, a 3-round lead. After losing that pistol, they've very quickly gathered some sort of control, some sort of momentum, brought this down onto a anti-eco, and it should be fairly straightforward, but Levy up close and personal. No, he's just going to get run over by the Tech 9. He's not going to be allowed to hold on to the AWP though, but they do now have control of the site, a decent bit of utility just to deny sight lines. Bomb yet to be planted. Has just been recovered now, will get planted. Oh my god, Max doesn't even care. Straight through the smoke. Nocte with 1. Now bringing it to a 1v1. Ooh, that peak. Perhaps not the best scenario there. The tap hadn't even come through yet in a round that maybe was salvageable. Again, just falls into 9Z's lap.
Oh, that was... A better step in the right direction for BESTIA, though. Because, look, they've had a hard run of form of... They lose second round because of a gimmick. They lose the first gun round because their gimmick gets out-gimmicked. They're 5-1 down, and they've only played 1 gun round. But they at least are limiting the utility and economy of 9Z, so they have to start converting the gun rounds. They're trying to punch their way out of middle, but they're not getting anywhere. They're getting shut down from lane, from middle, and this round, similar to the previous gun round, is not even going to get past liftoff.
Funnily enough, this is actually feeling a lot like Nuke, but in the reverse. We kept saying, like, BESTIA had these incredible reads round after round, and like Kaysen would just be in the right place every single round, and they would know what 9Z were trying to do. And it feels like it's the opposite here, where 9Z are pretty consistently reading into what BESTIA want to do and are reacting accordingly. You know, they've got pressure in just the right places. They're, responding really well to all of these plays. But now this has become a slightly more contestable scenario. Okay. With that kill, I think it is more or less a foregone conclusion. We have our 3 players from 9Z split quite nicely across the map here. A little bit of a trade there across map. But again, it's Nocte 1 versus 2. Bomb on his back. And I don't think they know where he is per se, which is why you've got one player who's kind of doing a little bit of a roam and one player sticking it out in mid just in case there's any attempt at a crazy push up through there, because obviously that's one of your big pivot points. With 20 seconds left, I feel like there's very little to be done here. That A bomb site is being watched. We're going to run straight through here. Footsteps should be heard, and as he swings out into the open, straight into Lucan's waiting arms. A 6th for 9Z.
Trying to see what went wrong with this round, because was there even flashbangs up middle? I mean, and yeah, the only reason this round's even competitive is because Luchov hits a really nice brace. It just seems very sloppy from BESTIA after I was heralding their Ancient. I mean, again, it's only been 2 gun rounds, so it's kind of the unfortunate stance that they're in. They're down 5 rounds, and it's only been 2 gun rounds, but they both have been pretty poor attempts. At least no one's died at 1:35. That's much better than the last 2 times.
The little things. Baby steps. Oh, we said 9Z were having some improvements versus BESTIA on this map. Maybe weren't expecting them to be quite this strong. Nice little double there from Lucan. Brings them not only back into even numbers, but gives them the advantage as well. Oh, pushing through the smokes there. Limited utility to really kind of pivot off of. Bomb's been lost. Teemo's the last one left alive. His KD looking like a little bit of a reverse from what we saw on Nuke. Not quite having the same impact as before. And just as quick as it began, another round that will go in favor of 9Z. I'm very confused of how we got from Nuke to this, from a 13-0 to 9Z playing the game, doing really well, and BESTIA starting to look a little bit messy. Both teams looking worse for wear on their own map picks.
It's a 7th. Oh, is it a 7th round? Okay, yeah.
It is.
Good damage at least from, it's at least it's a little bit of damage. It doesn't matter. Actually, it doesn't matter at this point. But that's a 7th round coming out from 9Z. They won in a 4 versus 5 position. And they won so from that 4 versus 5 really dominantly. And it's all because of Lucan. It's very easy to point at him and go, oh, he got the 2 kills, I think 3 in the end. Yeah, obviously he won the round. But it was more the fact that Max dies early, over-aggressing through cave. Huaso Peak was under so much pressure on that A bomb site, but he's able to come over to Lucan, who was towards CT and Red Room. That he needs a rotation ASAP because BESTIA made a lot of noise in A main before they came out. And even though Temple's been nerfed, he's able to get a double from that position because of a really reactive rotation. And okay, the 2 kills, the 3 kills, it's excellent, but it's the rotation that is just perfect. And for BESTIA, they get the bomb site and they don't get the bomb down. They just fall apart. This is looking really worrisome.
Going for that same very aggressive mid control here, and once they know that they've cleared that out and there's nothing to be worried about, they can of course fan out a little bit here. And there was some solid util to slow down this potential aggressive push in towards B. Now the exec util comes out, gives them the information that the push is happening. Nice holding on to that angle, waiting for someone to push through. Teemo, beautiful shot from him, but Levy here ready and waiting, misses the second, and this is suddenly doable. 2 versus 1 now. Wasapik, oh god, swaps over to the USP, trying desperately, gets the first somehow, dangerously low HP, but cannot get that final one. Teemo steps up in a big way in that round. 3 kills for him, and finally on an eco round, BESTIA get their second.
It's just a very individual round from 9Z that unfortunately they're not going to get away with this time. They change up how they approach taking middle. Normally, they kind of allow maybe someone to come through elbow and then re-flash in after BESTIA's utility. This time, they send their star boy Lucan very aggressively into heaven and run boost him in there. BESTIA's round counteracts what 9Z wanted to do towards middle, and instead of 9Z reacting to that, they still try then make individual plays that ultimately favors the Argentine squad. So at least it's 2 on the T side, and there's still actually definitely a way back into this half, and a flash play in towards ramp. Oh my god, how has Abana done that?
While flashed as well, that's disgusting. I mean, the timing on that was just that little bit off. He gets a 4th as well onto Kaysen. What a nasty round. I mean, what? Sure, I guess.
They do everything perfectly.
Look at this. He's like full blind. And how are BESTIA just missing their shots? That's what's crazy to me. Unless they like swung too early and got flashed themselves? I don't know.
BESTIA do everything right there apart from just get the kill.
Yeah. Alright. Let's move on to round number 11. 2 rounds left in the half here. Not a great position for BESTIA to be in. 2 Tech 9s to complement the 3 rifles. And Huasapeak's already taken down one of said rifles. It's going to make things a little bit more tricky. I don't think... Nope, that is very much unrecoverable, at least for the moment. They'll need to get a lot of space regained if they want to be able to get that gun back into their hands. That mid control has been disgusting from 9Z. Like, BESTIA have not been able to set a foot anywhere near Donut or Red Room for the entirety of this T side. 9Z have consistently shut that one down, and they will follow through and shut down the B side as well. Nox, the last one alive. Not for much longer. A 2K for Urbano and a 9th round for 9Z.
I mean, like, 9Z's mid control has been fine. BESTIA's mid control has been awful. They're just, it's so unenthusiastic and unimaginative for a squad that were teed up for a 2-0. They had the 2-0 in the palm of their hands, and it's just all been flushed down the drain like this. Like, this is just such poor Counter-Strike and showing from BESTIA, and then looks like they're going to try to go towards mid again. The flashes aren't going to blind anyone, and they do get mid, but 9Z are very happy to give it up.
For the first time, we're actually seeing some space garnered here. I just said they've had no real estate towards Red Room or Donut this entire game. Perhaps this is the one time where that actually does change. Nox is going to have to be very careful about this, right? He's been inserted into this much deeper position. Does he choose to push it? And in fact, no, he'll pull away.
What are
that
they
could
doing?
have been really, I don't know. That would have been such a good setup. You had so much free real estate there. And instead, they've inserted the bomb towards A. They're going to continue making noise around the rest of the map.
They have no util. What's Levy doing?
Oh my god, team kill as well. 3 versus 3 here. Huasapeak does just that. Now Bob's going to start making its way in onto the site, but this should be fairly easy pickings. How does that miss? Luchov. Devastation in the BESTIA camp as 9Z's come back swinging for a 10-2 half.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. I can run this town. I can run this town.
from being annihilated on their map pick 13-0 and just not showing up to the party whatsoever, 9Z lose the pistol round, but still end the first half 10-2 up, a 8-round lead, and they look like they want to push us to a decider in the grand finals of our inaugural ESL Challenger League Season 50 South America Cup. Question is, can BESTIA potentially do us in 2-0 and come back?
Timo tucked into the corner, shots a little bit labored, but the rest of the team's there to back him up. And yeah, fairly clean round from BESTIA, assuming they maintain survival here. Bomb's already been lost, so Luke and options are fairly limited. Checking to see if anybody's going to attempt to backstab, I suppose, but at a point, oh geez, with a minute left as well. He's got time to work with. Unfortunately, here's the problem. There's very little you can do in terms of like mind games or really anything, because you've got no util, you don't have the bomb, you can't really fake them out. So you're just gonna have to commit to something and hope to God they're not all standing in a triangle, which is exactly what they're doing. And there you go. Head lobbed clean off. I mean, Freddie, we came into this and you were like, oh, it's probably going to be a 3-mapper. Maybe not in the way we expected, but certainly seems like that's still on the cards.
That's the amusing part, right? This actually probably is going to be 3 maps. I mean, well, that shouldn't be the narrative we're spinning after BESTIA quite decisively win their second pistol round of this map while being 7 rounds down. But I don't know, Counter-Strike doesn't make any sense anymore, and apparently Tomazin and Notsuke don't realize that 9Z could be doing that. A fast play out middle for the T side might actually just win out this whole map.
That's kind of crazy because it's looking like it could be a repeat of what happened in the first half where 9Z win the pistol and... Oh, sorry, 9Z lose the pistol, but they win the anti-force with a force of their own.
It's hard.
They didn't even get the bomb planted.
It's hard.
You know, it's rough out here. BESTIA have won both pistols and have not managed to do much more than that. And of course, this is going to be a near 0 buy for them. So that'll put us on map point. $11's all they get? 12's all they get? Because let's face it, BESTIA are not winning this round.
I just don't really know / understand what's going on. I just don't. How would you go from losing 13-0 on your map pick and being just battered to them, Kaysen, who had a 3.10 HLTV rating, now is sitting 4-14?
Something. Even pro players have bad days. I don't know.
Bad days?
Bad maps. Oh my. Okay. Bring around the. Oh goodness.
Okay, well, he got a kill.
It got a little bit scary for a second, but all good. 9Z making their way in onto the side. Relatively undeterred. 2 little pistols left to deal with. Wee, all the way to market. Timo now the star of Nuke, and to some degree the star for his team on this map as well. Nice clean shot. How much more can you realistically do here? I thought it would be really nice just for the economic damage, just to give them that little bit more. And of course, an extra kill for the CT side would also be quite lovely, but not to be the case. And there it is. Map point here for 9Z. BESTIA very much on the ropes. Not a 13-0 though, so, you know, we take those.
It's just one of those... You open up the HLTV match and you're like, oh, it's the grand final. I wonder what's happening. Oh, they traded map picks. Oh, that's weird. What was the scoreline? Oh, there was 3 rounds between the 2 of them. And 9Z are just running up onto the B-bomb site. They want to end it off right here, right now. Huaso Peak initiates contact for the first. There are still 2 more players here, and Levy has decided he wants to be the 6th CT as he bangs his teammate in the back of the head. But unfortunately, that is quite literally the only kill for Bestia. Wazopeak tries to go for the ace. He's going to be stopped short. He ends this map on 20 luxurious frags as Notsuke, the IGL, he's almost clutched up a 1 versus 2 in this map, but a 1 versus 3 on such low HP is impossible. Nigh impossible, as we go to a decider, and no one expected this to be the case after Bestia won map 1 13-0.
Well, so remember how 2 maps ago when we kicked off the broadcast, I was joking about how on a Dust 2 there was a 13-1 and wouldn't it be really funny? Well, we had a 13-0 and a 13-3, and guess what? Our last map is also Dust 2. So, you know what? Take that however you will, with a pinch of salt or with a whole lot of spicy sauce. Who am I to tell you how to take your map 3s? I don't know, man. This is one of those ones where it's really difficult to give any sort of real insight into it. It was map 1 was a blowout, map 2 was a blowout, and no one really knows what's going to happen on map 3. I'll be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up in an overtime scenario just because it feels like that kind of a day.
Yeah, I will say both 9Z specifically on Ancient looked so prepared, and it's very easy to say that as kind of a throwaway comment on a 13-3 victory, but their gimmicks that they were throwing out to begin with were just so calculated. It was perfectly counteracting what Bestia are doing. So 9Z, they've woken up, they've got the momentum, they're going on to Dust 2. The last time these 2 teams met in the upper bracket semifinals, 9Z came out on top. Can they repeat history to claim their first victory with this new roster? We're going to be finding out after this short break.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been testing so much, all these wrestlers nice, all these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 8 at Beijing, man, ain't know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and roll Lex account of Blueface. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brothers since 6th grade. G-Wagon red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, I could like the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain. But thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. What's a life without sacrifice? Sometimes you gotta thank God and just roll the dice. Pacino.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. This is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. The way you like it, oh, yeah, you like it. The way you like it now, yeah, you like it. The way you like it, oh, so good, so fresh. Get up on your feet. Show me you got soul. Feet, this is a shakedown.
And welcome back, everybody, to ESL Challenger League Season 50. We're in South America, Cup number 1, and it is our grand final. And, well, what a grand final it has been. The duality of CS, I suppose, with one map going 13-0, the second map going 13-3, neither team managing to close out their own map pick or even get close to it. We've been forced onto a third map. It's Dust 2, and Freddy, I don't even know how to begin calling what this last map's going to look like.
I think I've decided I'm going to throw every analysis book out the window, and we're just going to play us on vibes.
That's fair. All right, so what's the vibe check?
There's literally nothing to go off this game. Like, every single rule of Counter-Strike's been thrown out the window. I was going to be like, well, maybe whoever wins pistol round. BESTIA won both pistol rounds on map 2, and yet they got 3 rounds in total. So, I don't know, Dust 2. What's happened in the past on this map? Because, to be fair, there actually is quite a bit of history. The funny thing with 9Z is whenever I think of Dust 2 is I think of when they played, when 9Z at the end of last year just kept on picking into Dust 2 and yet kept on losing. I know that's a really random nugget of information, but they went like 1-13 on Dust 2 at the end of last year, and they kept on picking into it. It was really funny, and everyone laughed at them. Anyways, with this new roster, they've actually done quite well on this map, but the one team they've lost to is BESTIA, and that was in the grand finals of 9Z's first tournament with the new 2 young Brazilians, and it was a battering. It was actually a real beatdown from BESTIA, and for 9Z, the only time they've actually played against I'd say like tier 1.5 South American team has been BESTIA in the upper bracket semi-final and that CCT final on Dust 2. They got battered the first time, but then they handed out the beating the second time. One would imagine reason dictates, 9Z have warmed up with this map with the new roster, they're looking clean. Who knows anymore?
Yeah, I mean, you talk about getting a battering in CCT, but 1 month prior, the big joke
but
it's
different rosters, so it's like I just want to like ignore that result completely. If just like that didn't happen because it's a different roster. Like it's like if I'm not mistaken, Martinez already knew he was leaving. Like that was already in the known. Adam S knew he was getting benched. Like the fact that 9Z still 13-1 is like pretty funny, but it's like different roster. Like that's a different game.
Yeah, I mean, that is fair, right? And that's been kind of the big caveat that we've had over the last couple of days, has just been the fact that there are these teams that have had quite a few roster shuffles here and there, and it's kind of taking time. We spoke about, growing pains and how that can be a factor. But yeah, with how those first 2 maps went, and I mean, even looking at the statistics for Dust 2, both teams, 13 and 14 games played respectively, and both of them around the 70% win rate. Okay, you could make the argument that 9Z have been playing some, relatively high caliber teams, but you could also make the argument that it's not that different for BESTIA as well. So it's really tough to call. And that's why, I kind of made the joke that this could end up going into an overtime, because it does feel like that kind of day. The first 2 maps, just crazy blowouts on opponent map picks. And the final map, well, I don't know. It feels like that's where we could be headed. But tough to call. I think that, given some of the individual performances we saw in the last few maps, like Levy had a really rough map 1, and with them winning that second map, obviously had a lot more opportunities to show up. But even then, not quite to the extent that we'd seen a couple of days ago. So we'll see how that kind of pans itself out. We'll kick off with the knife round here, and well, it was almost a flawless knife round. Is that signs of things to come?
Neither team really has a specific side they enjoy. So normally Dust 2 someone maybe further the CT side, but I think in this game, in this matchup, I'm not reading too much into who starts on what side. When BESTIA beat 9Z 13-5, they went 7-5 CT half and then 6-0 on the T side. When 9Z won, they went 8-4 on the T side and then 5-2 on the T side. This feels like it's going to be an incredibly even matchup. I'm hoping for an exhilarating third map and not a blowout, because that is what this grand final deserves. And everything points towards that. And this pistol round so far is going firmly, though, in favor of BESTIA. Luchov is on a tear. A hat trick of kills so far collected for him, as Wasso Peak is just being shot in the back of the head. And BESTIA will be looking to keep all 5 players alive as they take all of their pistol rounds. They have not lost a pistol round so far this series.
That is correct. And, you know, like we were saying, usually you can read something into a pistol round. Oh, yeah, maybe there's a potential for momentum there. But as we saw on the second map, both times on their force, 9Z kind of smacked them back down. So that also leaves us with who knows what happens now. We'll find out. We don't have to wait terribly long to figure out what this next iteration is going to look like. 9Z going with a very solid push down towards long. Heavy presence here and a fairly good read from them as well, as we're kind of posturing here. But perhaps 9Z themselves, or rather BESTIA themselves, maybe read into that a little bit there. A little bit of util thrown to garner a bit more space for BESTIA in towards mid. Maybe go for a bit of a pincer. There's some position being held on Short here. In fact, Short is actually quite heavily held. Oh, they don't check for it, but he's only good for 1. Does do a fair amount of damage, though, and can call that over. Good lord, what a shot. Okay, bomb gets dropped. Can be recovered at least, but now we have to recover the site. They've managed to make their way in, but they do still have the numbers disadvantage here. So have to play very, very carefully. Keep these players at arm's length. You know that they're playing with inferior weaponry. So there you go. From a distance, the Galil and the AK ring out. And this should be a second round for BESTIA. Levy, I don't know how much you're going to be able to get done with this scout here. And it seems he's had a similar idea. And in fact, is going to attempt to back away. BESTIA winning their force.
At least there's some sort of normality and continuation in this game, unlike Ancient. Is Levy going to be able to survive with a scout? I'm thinking not. Yeah, he's going to get hunted down. Kaysen has got almost as many kills than he did on Ancient. And he's on 3. 5 kills was what he got on Ancient, after having a 3.10 HLTV rating on Nuke. Concerning. But
slightly.
A concerning round as well that could have gone very wrong. Thomason with a double on Short was the lifesaver, and 9Z dropped onto an eco.
Oh my god, okay. Dies in the flames, but gets his, so they completely trade out. That was the Lone Ranger over on the B site, however. BESTIA not willing to take that risk. Molotov to clear out, see if they can flush somebody through, but no, there's no one there, nobody's home. That in and of itself is that little bit of information here. Despite it being an anti-eco, they do actually need to play carefully, especially with how that first trade is gone. And of course, knowing that this is the third and final map of the series, there we go. A little bit labored, a little bit messy, but that... Okay, we'll keep things tight. Nice little HE, a little bit of damage there, but nope, not going to be enough. And Levy, it's going to take a little bit of a miracle here. The Molotov to slow him down even further. That should be a fairly simple bomb plant, and no guns can be recovered on the way in, so there should be a little bit of a suicide mission and a third round for BESTIA. Probably.
Yeah. This game's been crazy, but it's not that crazy.
Yeah, interestingly, with all of the madness there, I think we've had one eco round, maybe?
In what context?
Well, just, you know, losing to pistols. Like, everything's been so crazy, but not so crazy that we've had, like, a slew of ecos, right? Like, you get games where you'll have, like, 3 or 4 ecos. I think we've casted a game where we had, like, 3 or 4 ecos in one map. It was insane.
You mean eco wins?
Yes, that is what I mean,
right.
yes.
I mean, well... I was going to say, there haven't been many rounds won from the other side. It's kind of just been like, the game started, the game ended. For both of those maps. So yeah, we've had 4 spy wins. 9Z made sure of that. It's what I was saying, 9Z were really well prepared on Ancient. They had a game plan that seemed very precise, and everything had a reason. Now, over on Dust 2, Ready initiating aggression over towards tunnels. You can see that Lucan and Max, they've taken a lot of back map control. They've cleared all of that out, and 9Z should be able to then just rotate and rest on their laurels over on this A bomb site where Bestia, they're all grouping up, and Wasso Peak's just trying his best to block, and he's even been dropped another smoke to block with.
It's a really good stall. I don't know if it was necessarily by design or if Bestia have just kind of made the call here, obviously, to just kind of hit the brakes a little bit, but it is running down that clock quite nicely.
There's another smoke as well. There you go.
Yeah. And another one.
Yep. That's the smoke dropped.
Keep re-smoking into infinity. Okay, now we're going to push the smoke because we realize, well, we've got to actually do something here. The molly onto car. Do they spot Lucan? Not going to have the opportunity as another smoke comes through. Abano gets one through the smoke. Levy follows it up with a double. And Abano swings for the 4th kill of the round. And Tamajan, who's nowhere near the rest of his team, what do? That's an egregious number of smoke kills, to be fair.
They weren't inherently through the smoke. It was Lucan naded the smoke and Levy was on short, and he shot as the another round. This is the round for 9Z. This is exactly what I was saying coming into this map and coming into that round of Ancient. Everything looked by design. Everything looked like it had a reason. This is one of those rounds. This is one of those rounds where everything, it looked like they had a game plan and they worked that plan to a T. Max and Lucan getting that early control towards tunnels. You've then got a response over on the A bomb site that you're making sure the block smoke is continuously set up, and then as soon as Bestia start to scale, there's also an instant reaction for Lucan to nade open the cross smoke, Levy be in a position that he can activate off that, and also the bomb site itself be blocked by Abano. Everything was by design, and it looks like 9Z are very well prepped. The first gun round dominantly going in their favor.
Yeah, I'm sad I missed that HE. Not sad, but it was something that I completely didn't spot out, and it does a bit of a game changer there. Alright. Oh, Bestia still not in the best of positions. I say still, now not in the best of positions. You got one player, unfortunately, on a Tech 9, but you still got the AWP in hand. Good lord, Levy. Cosplaying Kaysen a little bit. I mean, he does. And this is the crap that Kaysen was pulling on Nuke earlier. Similar vibes and much more akin to what we were expecting out of Levy coming today. Gets one, slips away into the night, covered by what? Nothing. Just sneaks off. No one there to follow up. So now Bestia have to try to stabilize 4v5. We'll stick as a death ball. We make our way up short here. Nothing really watching for that. But Levy, there you go. He's got a good inkling. It's going to come down to the timing. Nice shot onto Timo, and Timo has been a problem. Levy follows it up yet again. How much more can this man do? Luchov finally puts him down, but not before he garners his team a massive advantage here. The HE doesn't stop that bomb plant from going through, so at least there'll be that little bit. But the sneak up short, the final nail in the coffin, and a second round for 9Z.
I've been praising the game plan of 9Z. What's the game plan of BESTIA there? You lose the opening kill. Understandable. Your early decision was to get Kaysen aggressive towards long, to default into lower tunnels. Your star player goes down straight away. That is a very tough pill to swallow. But Timo swinging before the smokes when the AWP you know is going to be there. No flashbangs because they've used all their utility already in the round. Very poor from BESTIA and 9Z. Those first two rounds are demanding respect, and even though it's a 2-3 scoreline, that doesn't seem too much. The fashion in those rounds have been won makes me a little bit cautious for BESTIA in following. But Levy, that's how you lose against Ecos. You give away an AWP.
Now that was a bit of an unfortunate one. Oh goodness, all right. Very
unfortunate
with that.
or self-inflicted?
Yeah, I was getting into that. So it was kind of like unfortunate in the sense of was looking in the wrong place, right? Like if they were pushing in through the like suicide hole, then
this is scary.
Maybe he gets a shot.
This is very scary. Lucan needs a double here. Max has rotated, and there you go. Max sets Lucan up perfectly for that brace. Kaysen, this AWP is terrifying. Oh, they're not looking for Luchov. They know Max is here. No armor, but it does not matter. It's an ace. That was a full eco. Luchov had a deagle, and it all stems from over-aggression from the Brazilian AWPer.
Oh, that's crazy. So, like, I was talking about how it felt like if he was, and it's one of those, like, hindsight 2020, right? If he's looking in the right angle, maybe he gets a kill there before he's traded. Now, that being said, you don't want to be dying that early on in a pistol round, no matter how you look at it, right? So definitely that over-aggression that you were talking about. So that was where my kind of unfortunate comment came from. But yeah, it was definitely a bit of an over-confidence play. The fact that Luchov is able to get that kill, I can't remember who it was that had pushed through from double door side while there was a reload happening. But that's the player that's supposed to be covering you while you're in the midst of your reload. And Luchov just kind of 180 domes him. And then you know that Luchov is there. So you go towards that murder hole and you just lose that 1v1 too. It's just the nastiest ace to shut down a round that should never have been. I mean, Lucan, you said he needed to get 2, and he did, and he eventually gets traded, and even the AWP doesn't manage to get too much more done once they kind of have position on the site, and it's all Luchov. It's all right. 4-2. 9Z still have money, though, so we're not in, like, terrifying territory just yet.
It's just such an upsetting round for 9Z. It all looks so great and dandy. I loved their first 2 gun rounds, and they throw it all away, losing to a bloody eco. Luchov, what a round though. We had him as our Kadir player to watch, and he's certainly stepping up for the occasion. A deciding map ace, starting out with a deagle and no armor. This is a much better round already for BESTIA, because they've been able to take the map control that in previous rounds have taken them so long and so much utility to do so.
And a lot of it is 9Z playing a lot less aggressive this time around, though. Like, they've left mid not unguarded, but guarded from a distance. You know, not having as much of that aggressive positioning. And, well, aggressive AWPers, Kaysen wins out this time. Timo to follow it up with the kill down towards long. Huasapeak will trade, and in fact, Max keeping things on an even kilter here. But with those kills raining through and the information garnered therefrom, they'll start moving on over towards this B site. Now, Abano has made himself known. He spotted out one. The Molotov will flush him out, and as he peeks his head, Luchov, of course it has to be Luchov, will get that kill. Huasabeek's had time to move into position, but can't confirm the kill, so now his position is known. That bomb's going to get planted, and as we know, incredibly difficult site to retake, especially when you're at a numbers disadvantage with the money looking the way it is. Surely this should just be the decision to save, but no, they'll push through. Max is good for one. His position now very much telegraphed up, not hitting its shots. Max manages to get another. No, Kaysen misses that one. That retake is all Max all day. A 4K and a defuse in an unbelievable round.
BESTIA did everything right. They set themselves up for success. They had the round in the palm of their hands. They defaulted to perfection. They made the right call. They knew there was an isolated player on that B bomb site. A 3 versus 2 post plant on the hardest bomb site to retake. And 9Z make it look like child's play. Max, the IGL, leading his troops by example, taking this game by the helm and keeping his squad in contention. I said this was going to be a decider that was going to be worth it, and we deserved a strong map. This is already... These first 7 rounds have already been more exciting than the first 2 maps combined.
Truly. I will say the number of like ones that they just kind of handed over is crazy. How okay, he's only good for 1. If he gets a second there, I think I might flip my table, because we've talked about the over-aggression and what a problem that's been. And this time around, it just garners the most ridiculous results. And in the blink of an eye, BESTIA now only have 2 players remaining to try to recover this round. Kaysen, bomb on his back, is going to walk straight in. Oh my god, back turned. The timing on that was just very unfortunate. The 50-50 angle. The bomb's being dropped. They know it has to be recovered. The last player's been spotted out. And, well, quick as you like. 9Z turn the tables on their heads.
Because the difference is, when we critiqued the aggression from the likes of Levy when they were up against an eco round, was firstly, it's in the name, it's against an eco round. Why are you getting aggressive and up on shore isolated? This aggression is calculated, and it's aggression that I really like on Dust 2 as CT sides. Teams lackadaisically will just throw people towards middle into the wind and go, have some fun, see what you can get. But when you do aggression in middle correctly, it is so powerful and so hard to counteract, especially when your anchors are in prime position to react when players try and get a bit cheeky on the extremities. It's lovely from 9Z, and it looks like they're smoothing out the creases post eco loss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this round looks exactly as it should have looked. No crazy surprises here.
Hey, what? They
finally...
They beat the eco. They beat the eco. They did it. They actually beat the eco.
It happened. Miracles do happen from time to time. I'm glad that we've got a more, like, closely contested map, right? Like, if we had another kind of 13-3, 13-1 blowout, I think I would have been very, very disappointed in our... Because remember, this is our grand final. Cup number 1, South America. Winner here gets to go to the regional finals. And, I mean, maybe that's what kind of lit a fire under each of these teams on those respective maps. Who knows? But this map needed to be a little bit more hotly contested. It needed to be less of a disaster area. Both teams certainly kind of stepping up a little bit. Okay, showing the trash bags is a little on the nose there, production.
I like it. Got to keep ourselves entertained somehow. We ain't doing it.
We saw enough of trash bags in the first couple of maps.
Quite literally a couple maps.
Yeah.
This is an important gun round for BESTIA because they won pistol round, they've won a FICO. They should have more than 4 rounds at the end of this first half. But nothing gets given over for free. They have to fight for every morsel of success, and Luchov has just walked straight into that HE. Good bit of chip damage early from Max. And BESTIA, they're trying to put pressure towards middle and end towards A with a split. Currently, there's a lot of isolation. Huaso, Peak, and Levy are both fighting two angles basically by themselves right now.
Low and slow is the name of the game here. Levy's got such a good angle here. The flash does absolutely nothing to him. He's missed that shot. Timo has managed to get the aggression down onto Long. He won't miss that shot. Oh my goodness. That is rough.
Didn't see Kaysen on the jiggle. He jiggled and was just like, oh, grand, I can actually exit out Long, right? And then it's like, oh no, there's someone there.
Okay.
Is this winnable?
They've got kits. 2 versus 3 certainly doable. They're very split though, and obviously it's going to come down to this. And unfortunately, it is Luchov who will continue to do Luchov things. 12 and 6 he sits. The only player, no, sorry, not the only player on the server. Levy also has double digits, but he's had a very good map 3 here. But quieter on our first couple of maps. I mean, to the extent that we kind of almost forgot that he was our Kadir player to watch, but has stepped up quite nicely on this one. 5-5. Oh, we may yet see a 6-6 half. Can you believe it? After the disaster that was our start to the series, we actually have a series on our hands.
Yeah, the narratives we set up at the beginning just got thrown out the window so quickly. So it's just like, who knows anymore? Really nice round though from BESTIA, and just a bad call from 9Z. They angled more towards mid and B, and then Levy and Huaso P just had to take those fights together on Long. And unfortunately, they were not able to do so. This round though, Levy getting aggressive with the opening kill is going to be rewarded, and Luchov, the demonic demon that has been tormenting 9Z on this map, is out for the count. Can someone else step up in his place? And apparently, we have just found them. Not scaring Kaysen. Those shots were dastardly.
The worst part is that Noxe is so low after that HE.
Levy's not going to clear lower.
What are you doing? Oh my god, he does a half clear. What? Okay, he does get traded out, but that's a nasty shot from him. 2-2 now.
Look at Huaso Peak.
Yep, this is a nasty look. They seem to be somewhat wise to it, though. No, they've turned away.
God.
That smoke may have just saved a lot of lives on both sides. Whose lives
got saved there?
Well, no one's died, so lives have been saved.
They still don't know about Huaso Peak.
Was probably the one in danger. They had an inkling, but yeah, they didn't actually see. Oh my god, very much labored. Will get traded. 1 for 1. They're both dangerously low. Oh my god, Huaso Peak's gone to the wrong site. The bomb's gonna get planted. Yes, it is. Just in the nick of time. And now, advantage to Martian. There's an idea of where he might be. Nothing. Oh my god, why? Oh, he had everything going for him, but no information, so he swings to C, and he just gets his head blown off. What a round!
If we look back at Huaso's perspective there, he's holding window, I guarantee. I guarantee he's not holding for the aggression from ledge there, outside a window. But whoa, what a crazy, crazy, crazy round. This just sums up the whole series right here. Like, this just chaos. Yeah, he was holding window peak, and it's just like, oh, hello, ahead. A ridiculous round that makes no rhyme or no reason. This Dust 2 is rewarding us. We've waited through 2 maps. We went, okay, let's get through this now. We've got onto the real meat and potatoes. We're basically playing a best of 1 of the grand finals.
Long have we waited. Both teams activated. Who'd have thunk it? BESTIA 1 round to even it out for the half. Oh my god, bro. Both of them just sprayed down by Wasapeak, and so much utility thrown out to try and garner space, and all of it goes to naught. Tamajan now has to 1v4 for that evened out scoreline. Doesn't have the bomb, doesn't have the angles, doesn't have his life. 7-5 is where we end off at the half.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. Oh. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, how will I get out of the jungle? Everybody wanna stop me. 10 more steps up the mountain. Now everybody's looking for me. Spend my life in the desert till something changed inside of me. Now I'm flying over oceans. Everybody looking at me. I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town. Oh, I can run this town.
Things are starting to spice up here as we finally have a contestable half. Bestia, they won the pistol round. They won a full eco, and yet they sit on a deficit. 5-7, 9Z look to be taking revenge from the previous grand final they played against Bestia, where Bestia dominated them 2-0, and 9Z looked secure our inaugural South America ESL Challenger Cup, and it could all start with this pistol round. Thomasin will try to get aggressive underground, and Kaysen has just killed him as he tried to retreat.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's okay. Noxe will sort that out quick, sharp. Kaysen gets traded out. We've got the push-up long. How have you gone and done that, Lucan? What looked like a recoverable round at the very least for Bestia. Kind of starts to lose its legs a little bit. I say that. Luchov is still alive. And as long as Luchov is alive, it's winnable. Shots connecting. Oh, nasty little flick straight onto the head there. And, well, there you go. 1vx for Luchov comes out on top, and the 7-5 becomes a 7-6.
That makes things amusing. Because Bestia have not lost a pistol round this map, this series. They have won every single pistol round, 6 for 6. And over the last 2 maps, they've won 9 rounds so far. 4 of the 9 are from pistols. 5 of the 9 is also with 1 eco. They've only won 4 non-pistol rounds over the last 2 maps, which is not a great sign, but great shots from Kaysen and Luchov. I swear to God, he only gets kills in rounds they win, and when he gets those kills, they're multi-kills and they win the round. He's like the highest impact player, but only in like kind of splatters.
Alright, well, see if we can get the same sort of impact in this round. Very kind of slow to kick off. I do love that Kaysen already has the AWP out. Oh, the flash. Nice little bit of ducking and weaving from Urbano there to stay alive, but information has been garnered. We spotted out 2 players. We now know that there is a heavy lean, and we can potentially reinforce. Oh my god, a team kill from Lucan, but a follow-up onto the enemy. It's chaos on the site, but 9Z have breached. And the plant should be quick and easy. Oh my god, Lucan, the timing. The timing! So unfortunate, and now there's a player advantage for BESTIA. But it still will be difficult. Levi still does have AWP in hand, but they have to be that little bit more paranoid. Steps are being heard, however. Lovely shot from the scout. Follows up by the MAC-10 in the doors. And Kaysen, 1vx, has gotten the first, but the second will surely not follow. And very quickly, much like what we saw on Nuke, in fact, a pistol round 1 and a force stolen away.
Yeah, this is ancient all over again.
Okay, ancient.
BESTIA winning in this. They've won both pistols and have just, they can't convert anything. BESTIA are being given so many lifelines. So many lifelines in this third map. They don't deserve to win this. Like, 9Z didn't even get a bomb down in the pistol round, and they're still able to win the force buy on the T side. And this is worst case scenario for BESTIA now as well, because when the CT side win the pistol, lose the conversion, look at their economy. It's 5-7, it's Kevlar, and it's a little bit of utility. It's nothing. This should be 10-6 etched onto the wall.
One way to find out for sure. So a nasty shot from Levy with the scout earlier. Perhaps Kaysen can replicate that. 9Z not really willing to risk peeking out there. Understandable. Will flash through as well, so being a lot more careful. I say a lot more careful than BESTIA were. Just really, really solid bits of utility here to help them garner that map space, get that early intel. I've started to run down the clock a little bit. Yeah, that's actually a fair point. They did that a lot in their match in the upper final. In this particular matchup, it's been a little bit more chaotic. That first kill from Kaysen will allow Tamajin to pick up a Galil. They have no idea that he's pushed down long and has picked up a rifle and is looking to backstab. Flashes have come through. Oh my god, bro. He's got 4 of them in his crosshairs. He's gotten the first one. Can he follow it up? No, he can't. And meanwhile, his team has collapsed across the rest of the site. And Timo's the last one alive. It's a low HP player to push through, so at least they'll get that third kill on the round, but unfortunately, that's all she wrote.
Wasso Peak has just got 3 kills and 4 kills in the last 2 rounds. I want to kind of point that out. He's chilling on 20 and 6. When did that happen? How did that happen? What's happened there? That's ridiculous. That is a just redonkulous performance. I wouldn't be surprised if Thomasen's desk is broken in half. Thoughts about that?
Yes, valid.
I think GG desk broken moment right there. And I wouldn't blame him. That's the issue with that round though with Thomasen is on paper, it looks really bad, doesn't it? But in actuality, he would have had to get three of those four for the round to be won. So it's kind of this like situation that we're placed in where he has to do something that is like, you know, bit too much, right?
Yeah.
And he just doesn't even come close to it, though. That's the problem. He barely even gets the first kill. But okay, Bestia, the force bite is unsuccessful. We've got a short little technical pause. 9Z, they're on 9. They're about to get 10. This is them sailing towards a victory after a very well-prepared Ancient and Dust 2.
Yeah, he definitely got a feel for the guy. I just like replaying that moment in my mind. And there's 4 people right in front of you, and so much is laying on your hands. You're the only rifle for your team at that point, desperately trying to carry that over the finish line, and unfortunately,
you've made the right play. You've done everything
100%.
correct.
But unfortunately, the cards were not in your favor. It also didn't help that the rest of his team just kind of
they did have 5 sevens.
This is fair, but my esteem of the moment is also correct. It was unfortunate. My estimation of it. Timo's been good for one. That's quite nice. So, free gun, perhaps? No, unfortunate. I've just seen where the death actually happened. Ooh! He wanted to try, I suppose. Get in behind them, see if he can get an extra kill or 2, and snag a free gun, but not to be. 9Z hit double digits. Looking very good so far on their T side. Perhaps this is the... No, it's too early. Other than maybe this is the end of the road for Bestia, but we'll give them another round, because that might be all they have in them, given what the economy looks like here. They'll still be able to get a buyout in the next because of that lost streak bonus, but...
I'm quite happy to call it here, personally.
Yes, but you're a naysayer. I'm
like,
the optimist.
It's the fact, like, Bestia have got 1 gun round? 1 gun? Yeah, they've won 1 gun round? Like, okay. And they've been owned in the majority. Kaysen, though, that is an excellent opening kill. And they're going to try and make a play off it. Okay, Notscape respects the utility, and that's unfortunate for Abano. So Luchov just spams him, and Notscape is going to finally make that play, but a little bit over-aggressive. And that is going to be penalized. So a 5 versus 3 now brought into a 4 versus 3. Bestia have done well to put themselves in a winning position. Can they just convert this and keep the head above the water?
Might be a tough ask. As 9Z now hit the brakes, seeing a little bit more of that slower play that we'd seen so often previously. Oh, that's unfortunate. All right, you just get pincered in on what are you supposed to do at that point. Once a peak 1v4 turns into a 3v none. Bestia will start to climb back up into this game. I kind of mentioned that was going to be a fairly important round for them. What concerns me is that if they can't convert that, if they can't get another round here, then their entire loss streak bonus is gone. 9-0 are at 11, and I mean that could be the end of the road. So that first round, or that previous round, was kind of that first step. Now this next step is what keeps them off the ledge. Get some early util here just to try and deny some space. Oh my god, Luchov, I don't know if I love that. I don't know if I love this. What are we doing, guys? Some good util at least, but the follow-up is just lackluster. Abano with a nasty double there. Unreasonable. Kaysen to follow through, but Kaysen now has to 1v4 ace in order to secure this very important round for Bestia. The over-aggression that has plagued both of these teams at various times has now come to bite Bestia Case and I are going to try to just hold on to this AWP because that's all, folks.
1900 lost bonus, no money for BESTIA in the back pocket. That is such a disappointing performance, and they're going to be ending Dust 2 with a real sour taste in their mouth. They've made an excellent lower bracket run, getting past the likes of Fluxo with Art, destroying Red Canids. But what even is this? Getting aggressive long at the start, I was thinking Kaysen's getting aggressive with the AWP. This is a really good sign for the future. This is going to be him setting BESTIA up with consistent opening kills. He fails on a long peek. No biggie, he resets and goes to play towards short. Oh, but his teammates that he's gone to meet on short have already died. And then, you know what, Urbano just does nasty things. He just defiles those two mid players. There's actually nothing BESTIA could have done about that. He destroys them. But it's just simple over-aggression and playing your hand too early when the team's not set up for the call. 9Z, they go to 11. BESTIA, they are on their final legs right now. They've got no money in the back pocket. There's 2 rifles, primary rifles, a FAMAS and 2 MP9s, and that's all they've got to go around. Alongside that, a singular smoke at 1:44.
All right. Bit of pressure over towards this B site. Oh my god, it's been so heavily reinforced. It's been read like a book, but they don't commit. And that opening kill on the other side of the map might just call the rotation. It's certainly emptied out this B bomb site massively because they only spotted 1 player, so they weren't sure, they weren't aware that it was almost the entire team, but 9Z have given them time to rotate back in. That's unreasonable. Double kills with the FAMAS there. Tamashin to follow it up. This was played so well by 9Z, and despite that, BESTIA come out on top of an unlikely round.
Oh, such a poor round though from 9Z. They overdo it. They try to win too quickly and overthink this. They have such a utility advantage, and they should know that BESTIA don't have util by the fact that nothing's been dropped anywhere in the map. If they had just fully executed instead of trying to contact into a bomb site, they win that round. But instead, they give themselves up, and now it's their economy that's been broken. Not Skate. We've seen both IGLs have heroic plays this series. This time, it's Notsuke with the FAMAS to potentially be the difference maker, as BESTIA should be booking in 9 as a confirmed round. And that means they're only 1 gun round away from evening up this scoreline. I thought this game was over. I thought this game was over so many times.
See, that's why you've got to be more like me. Ever the optimist.
Counter-Strike has taught me one thing: it's never be optimistic about anything.
Alright, well, I'm optimistic about this CT round, but I've been wrong before. Nope, this time I'm absolutely correct. That was some... To be fair, there was some disgusting util damage that chunked everyone down to like 20, and all he had to do was hold M1. It was some very solid cleanup. But yes, he was in fact eco-farming. BESTIA up to 9. Okay, but 9Z are able to buy into this round. So I love how so many of these rounds are turning into swing rounds. You win this round, you got a chance. You could win the whole damn thing. But if you lose this round, well, everything goes to heck. See if they can come out on top of this one. That'll put them on map and series point. Oh, Kaysen. Just continuing to be a problem. And Urbano has had a much quieter map, but he did kind of step up a little bit in a couple of those earlier rounds. Not the worst. Oh my god, Kaysen. How do you win that? Shoulder peeking into Levy and still coming out on top. It's not often that you actually see AWP versus AWP. But I think Kaysen has cemented himself as the better AWP in this particular... I mean, I say that. They're both sitting at 20 and 14, which is... hilarious. But he won the actual 1v1 and nets a 2-player advantage for his team just off of his own dynamism. Now 9Z stuck in short. Trying to crack their way through. Very little utility left to utilize here. And of course, positions very much known by the entirety of BESTIA. And as they push through, I don't know if I agree with that, but you didn't have too many options, unfortunately. Falling off of that angle was always going to be a tough ask, and that's okay. Timo is still alive. He'll bring up the rear for 2. Doesn't get the third. Luchov snatches that one away, but it is a fairly clean round for BESTIA. Up to 10, and only a 1-round deficit.
Kaysen's really impressed me this CT side, and it was a sign that I mentioned in the last gun round that BESTIA lost when they went over aggressive in middle, was that they were setting Kaysen up for a play, but his teammates are the ones that lose the round for him. They play their cards too early and put Kaysen in a basically unwinnable position, right? This CT side, he's taken matters into his own hands. He's getting opening picks left, right, and center. Sometimes it's as simple as just peeking the mid doors. He's peeking towards long, he's peeking towards short. He's getting into the face of 9Z, and to be honest, 9Z don't have an answer for it. Their answer is to try and avoid him and hope the negligence of the rest of his teammates lose BESTIA this CT side.
That is quite wild, because there is a world in which overtime actually happens. Oh, Kaysen. I mean, it's anti-eco. There's a world. That's what I'm saying. There's
I'm not saying overtime. I'm saying I feel like this game is being ended in reg one way or another. And Kaysen's doing this is an eco round. Understandable. Yes. And I'd never put any kind of I don't like to put weight on these rounds, but what I'm watching Kaysen do, if there's ever, his confidence is already very high with the amount of opening kills and aggressive plays he's been able to succeed with on the CT side. And also just in this eco round, it's against pistols, but it adds further fuel to the fire. We're on 11-11. There's not an AWP to respond to Kaysen. Kaysen can single-handedly just win this game out for BESTIA. And this whole CT side, this whole Dust 2 is Kaysen, apart from when Luchov got that eco ace and Notsuke got a double spray down with a FAMAS. The rest of this map, Kaysen.
Sure, but bearing in mind that if 9Z can actually win this round,
shutting down
will
Kaysen.
Be sure, but it will also be the fact that BESTIA will still be able to buy into the next round, and 9Z will have money, so they'll be able to buy. So it will be a gun round, and BESTIA, they have a good chance of winning that one. So, there's a world. I'm believing. I'm trying to manifest. Having a 13-0 and a 13-3, you get to a point where you're like, I'd like some CS, please. May I have some more, please?
This is very interesting to see Kaysen go for a pick towards B, because he's been predominantly staying around mid, short, long, and he's been farming there. To see him go for a pick towards B, it seems like BESTIA trying to read into a play towards that bomb site. Does he stay there? I would be so surprised if Kaysen stays towards B this whole round, and you could already see him dropping utility over to Thompson and starting to now mobilize because of the utility in mid.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's been fairly dynamic. Not as dynamic as what we saw from Levy a couple of days ago. Not today so much, but had really solid
he's made the wrong call.
It's still recoverable. Oof. A lot of poking and prodding here, and I think both teams certainly feeling the pressure of that potential overtime just on the horizon. Beautiful smoke.
This is a perfect call.
The spidey senses were tingling there. Oh, I love that smoke. A walk-up smoke to give them the space to push through the CT smoke and to allow them something to get in onto the site. But Timo, ready and waiting, arms wide open, catches the player moving in through mid, sets up a beautiful duo with Luchov, who shuts that down. Bombs being lost. I liked what 9Z were doing, but the execution unfortunately falls flat.
How did they not get a single kill?
I don't know.
How That was a perfect round from 9Z, and now they are broke. Lucan's being hunted down. Oh, this is terrifying. He gets Thompson. They're gonna swing him. He needs to survive with this AK. He dies. He has $400 for the final round of this map, this series, and this whole goddamn tournament. BESTIA, I've been putting all of the focus towards Kaysen, and for good reason, but the rifles step up over on that B bomb site once more. The 2 gun rounds that have been won without Kaysen has been that B defense, and in part, Luchov. He has flash in the pan multi-kills, but I swear, every time he gets a multi-kill, they win the goddamn round. As another example there, 12-11, 9Z are broke. BESTIA look like they want to complete this comeback on Dust 2.
All right, one more round for all the marbles. And 9Z taking a hot minute here to make sure that they don't give over too much. Try and bait out some of the utility as well if they can. They want to force BESTIA to have to use util to garner information. So they're playing very quiet, very slow. Flash into mid to get themselves some space, just in case there was any sort of aggression. That will kind of give away the game a little bit. They run straight into Luchov, but Urbano is able to trade him out. But the bomb is in mid, and there is double positioning here. Perfect from Lucan, just off to the side. Not getting taken down there is massive, but Timo, he's been a problem, and he continues to do so. 9Z, it really felt like they had a chance in this round, and Urbano now has to do so much. One player left alive. It's Kaysen, but of course it will be Kaysen to close it out. Damage done, but could not confirm the kill. BESTIA, they do in fact close it out in regulation, despite a bit of a speed bump on that second map. They will be your champions for the ESL Challenger League Season 50 South America Cup 1 and have booked their ticket straight to the regional final.
Not only that as well, there's a difference between $4,000 between first and second place. BESTIA, they lost to 9Z in the upper bracket semifinals. They get dropped down to the lower bracket, and they have to face off against a fierce VSM-led Flamengo, and then Art on Fluxo, maybe the hardest challenge in the lower bracket final. Then Red Canids get swept by, and now Revenge once more garnered. BESTIA, they lost previously, but this time they take their cake, and they also don't allow 9Z redemption from the CCT Series 2 final that BESTIA dominated 9Z in, and that's a 5-round comeback on the CT side of Dust 2, a rather deflated third map to be honest. BESTIA won 13-0 on their opponent's map pick, get rolled on Ancient, and looked like Dust 2, they were just living off pistol wins and an eco ace from Luchov, but finally, those last 5 rounds were pure class delivered by largely Kaysen, but also the riflers in those last 2 gun rounds.
Incredibly exciting series, maybe not in the fashion that we'd expected, but certainly entertaining nonetheless. And there is something to be said about having 2 blowout maps that end in an absolute banger of a close affair at the end of the day. But as mentioned, that will be BESTIA locking themselves into the regional final. And why don't we check in with our Kadia player to watch? Luchov, not a terrible performance, it felt like. Not the best, though. I think he really activated... That's it, right? He activated so much on that third map, but the first couple of maps were kind of...
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those weird ones of, like, on the 13-0, he didn't play badly. Kaysen just took all the kills. And that, like, Kaysen and Timo had over 30 kills between them on 13 rounds. Wait, like they had 40 kills. So obviously there's not so many kills to go around. And he plays anchor, right? Like, you know, he played ramp anchor. He plays towards ramp. He was also supporting as well outside a lot on the CT side. And then the T side ended, right? And then, okay, they get own map 2. Luchov, his swing round and his round win share on Dust 2 must be phenomenally ridiculous, because as I mentioned, every time he got a multi-kill, they won the round. He wasn't consistent with the kills, you know. I think that's actually a sign to bring up, and if there is going to be a critique, it would be that. But every time he was in a position to get that multi-kill, he did, and he won BESTIA the round. And also, I think maybe probably the most important round of the whole series, the eco round, where he just gets an ace with a deagle and no armor.
Well, certainly an entertaining finish to Cup number 1. Looking forward to seeing these teams back for Cup number 2. If they do so, well, if BESTIA do indeed attempt to play it again. You know what, even if you don't get the 4 wins, you can still get prize money if you get into the top 6. So why not? But that is a question for another day. The question for the rest of today is, will you be here for North America a little bit later on? NRG taking on the Blue Jays in their grand final, and a beautiful caster duo. Apples and Affinity will be taking you through that one. So make sure that you are back here ready and waiting to see who's going to nab the spot in the North America regional final. From Freddie and myself, that is the end for us for Cup number 1. It's been a great pleasure. We'll see you in the next one.
The day is ours and we seize it. Haters, man, they got reasons. Grab the moment, we freeze it. Go to the touch, oh, what a rush. Follow your heart, homie, go where the love. Let it rain, let it flow, let it flood. Swimming in good vibrations, it's a celebration. It's the liberation of everything we are. Every time you in the clouds, they gon' try to bring you down. Do not let them try, go ahead and get it, get it, get it, get it. Every time you in the clouds, they gon' try to bring you down. Do not let them try, go ahead and get it, get it, get it, get it. I'm all in, I'm here to receive it. No limits, got to believe it. Amen, I know that you feel it. From the ashes, rise like a phoenix. I'm all in, I'm here to receive it. No limits, got to believe it. Amen, I know that you feel it. From the ashes, rise like a phoenix. Loving you is so easy. You caked up and I squeeze it. We picking up all the pieces. On my broken heart and we fix it. Make it better when you kiss it. We got to get it, yeah, we tips it. We getting drunk off our loving. They talk a big game, but they bluffing. Every time you in the clouds, they...
Damn, guys, we almost had this.
Thank God it's over.
Bored of endless matchmaking? Take your first step towards ECL, experiencing real strategies against teams of your skill. Learn more at fce.gg/ECL.
ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Acer Predator, DHL, Qiddiya, and 1xBet.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these restless nights, all these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of on my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 8 at Beijing, man, they know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble.